Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the morning. Good morning and good Yom Tov, I should say, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. We'll go to Seches Aleph on this auspicious day of Yutes Kislev. We should have a Chassidus Mateva, Lashon Tov Mesukah. We'll live in a Chassidus, a darker Chassidus. Chassidus should permeate us in the proper way. And the schus that we have to be connected to Chassidus and to be able to learn Chassidus, it's a big schus, and it's a gift. We have to thank the Rabbeim and the Eibishter and Hashem for giving us this. And Mitzvah Hashem will internalize it and use it out the way it was intended. It connects us to Hashem and connects us to our tafkid in the world, and ultimately Mashiach, do it tachtenim. Let's continue on or begin. Okay, so we're talking about Yaakov married Aviv at Canaan. Yaakov is sitting in the land of sojourners with Canaan, and in order for Yaakov to come to the land of his father, it's definitely being the land is like the lowest, but it's coming down to this world and transforming it. So this is what we're talking about. So like running down the story, and really we said ultimately it's in the simple things. And this is sort of the beauty of it that we were discussing this yesterday. A person thinks to themselves, especially I think it's happened a lot when that's what we gave yesterday, when women get married and they have kids, suddenly they get stuck at home on Shabbos, let's say, there's no Eruv, and they stay at home, and it's like this weird situation, like they're not used to it, and they feel like a lesser yid. But really what we're saying is it's really, and those things is the pshittus. That's like the real simplicity. Because you're not doing it because you enjoy it, you have ulterior motives. But this is the right thing to do. And that's the Kabbalah Son. That's really where you reach the highest of high. As the Friedrich Rebbe said, and this is what we're going to continue on. As the Friedrich Rebbe said in the story, what did the Friedrich Rebbe say? He says, "Hapshitus shel anashim pshutim," the simplicity of the simple people, miskasheres im pash and pshitus atzmos, connects with the simplicity of Hashem's essence. It's a wild idea. So with us, Pshitus, Aved, Unyanim Pshutim, the simple Aved of doing simple things, Mishkasher with Pshitus also connects with the simplicity of Hashem's essence. Meaning, you don't have to be an Ibachach, you don't have to be over complicated. It's a mitzvah, I do it. So, this one feels good, I like it, and we over dramatize, overthink things through, just and it's not just I do it, but when we do it, we're reaching the deepest of levels. And I think it's like an important lesson that, like, a lot of times in life, I remember like we had this discussion once, Rosh Hashanah, like it was last year, that Michal brought about taking achlatas for Rosh Hashanah. They should be realistic, doable achlatas. And so a lot of people complain, like, what do you mean? Like achlata, I need to change the world. So it's nice, and it's nice to change the world, but practically that's not going to happen. So you take an achlata, and I can tell you from my personal experience of many years of failing at achlatas, especially in yeshiva, you take these big achlatas, but what actually sticks is the small one that's actually doable, that you've calculated. Practically, I can do it. And if we would make achlatas a little bit more of that type, we would be able to get a lot further. But it's so simple, it's such a small thing. It's like Rosh Hashanah has to be such a big achlata. But what we're learning here, the Friedrich Rebbe is teaching us, is the simplicity of the simple people. Meaning, the simplest of things can tap into the most profound levels. Doing a simple idea of just giving 5 cents tzedakah. What am I doing? Just give 5 cents. That's where it's all at. That's what brings out this milah very much. And this is what we're saying. And this is the milah, this is the advantage of Kabbalah Soul, should be glala nikov neisol b'shem tivus havaya, and that's why we're called tivus Hashem, because of Kabbalah Soul. Kinyan shel chayil, what's the idea of a chayil, a soldier? Kabbalah Soul, what's a soldier? A soldier, no one asks your opinion. I have a friend, good friend of mine, that he was in the army. He was actually in a war. He went to Lebanon, and we had a long farbrengen about it. And I asked him, how was it? Like, what was the whole experiences? And one of the things he told me, he said, you can't be a chacham. When you go, he goes, you just follow, you don't understand what you're achieving and what you're doing. They tell you go and take over this house, and you go. Why? Who? What? Doesn't make. I have no clue what's because I'm assuming someone above does, and this was, to be a little bit honest, that this war wasn't a very successful war for the Israeli army. There was a lot of issues and a lot of issues. My friend was there, and he had a lot of issues. But B'cholos, he said to be a good soldier, you can't ask why. They tell you, and you do it. Take this house, take this house, that house. And this is what we're saying. This is Kabbalah Sol. Kabbalah Sol doesn't mean I don't care. It means I understand. I'm given over, given to the tafkid, to the job. And the job is, now what do you need from me? What does Hashem need from me? Not what do I feel? And he had friends that refused orders, and they went to jail for it. And he said you can't work that way. It doesn't work. When you go to war, you can't have someone say, no, why? I want to understand why. It doesn't work that way. And this is what we're learning here. Kabbalah Sol is not that I don't want to do it. This is, we think to ourselves, Kabbalah Sol means I don't want to do it, and I do it anyway. That's not really Kabbalah Sol. Kabbalah Sol is I understand that I am needed for this. And that's why I do it. What I think about it is I don't put that into the cheshbon. I don't think about it so much. I'm thinking more about what am I needed for? Like the soldier in the army, the soldier doesn't think to himself, do I want it or not? What do you need me to do? And I go do it. And that's Kabbalah Sol. Because, and why is it such a mylon? Because if it comes, and this is what we were saying before, if it comes from your seichel, or you think what I understand, what makes sense for me, what's more enjoyable for me, so then it doesn't work. A team, if everyone in the team does whatever they want, it doesn't work. The team has to be as a team. They do everything together. And this is what we're saying. Zeu pirush shel Vayeishev Yaakov be'eretz Megiri Aviv. This is the explanation. What does it mean that Yaakov dwelt in the sojourner's land, meaning in a foreign place in the land of his father? Meaning, Kadei she'adim yagil la'aviv. In order if you had to reach this level of Aviv, which is a father, which is our Father in heaven, Kolemar, Idei kasher kol avodasei tiyeh rak la'aviv shemayim. That everything we do is only for Hashem. How can we reach a level that we do everything just for Hashem? So what's the answer? Avodah pshuta. Eretz Begurai, the place of foreign. Meaning, in simple terms, he's saying it means simple avodah. The law is chakmus. No. Don't being inibbe chacham, don't overthinking it. V'az na'alamis apnuyos v'hu miskashim aviv. But then all the obstacles get out of the way and you connect. Meaning, you want to come to Hashem. What does Hashem want from me? What do I need to be doing now? And you daven? Start daven. But I'm not in the mood. You don't think about it in those terms. And it's not that you don't exist in it. You exist, but your attitude toward it is different. A good attitude to have is what does God need from me? That's what I'm doing. The attitude is not what do I feel like doing now? I don't feel like davening. And it's funny, we all have this. I'll give you a simple example, but this applies to so many levels. You learn in Tanya. This is like it's pretty straightforward. But Alter Rebbe says yesterday in Tanya that he's unhappy that when you come to certain shuls that one guy's davening, one guy's learning, one guy's talking, aka 770, and he doesn't like this. When the minyan starts, you start davening, and this is how it's meant to be, and everyone's meant to start with the minyan. And and people have this like a shtus in the head, especially for guys on Shabbos. They want to be chassidish, so they start davening late for some reason, and they think this is davening b'avodah. We have to be b'pshittus. The Alter Rebbe said you start davening the minyan, so you start. You can if it takes you longer to daven because you're concentrating, and so you slow down. That's nothing against it. The Alter Rebbe doesn't say there's anything wrong with that, but the Alter Rebbe is complaining. And everyone says, so one guy, I have a friend of mine that we talk about this, and I'm like, no, like why'd you have with the minyan? Like he feels like he's a balabas if he starts on time. The Alter Rebbe said you're a balabas, start on time. Halacha shulchan aruch, but start on time. And the Alter Rebbe clearly complains that you're not starting on time. But that's when we become an ibn chacham. We become a pashut. You start. You want to daven at length, so start, and then wherever the davening takes you, it takes you. But this applies to a lot of things. We have to be simple. What I need to be doing now, but I'm not in the mood. I don't feel it. Don't worry about it. The mission is to get done. And I tell you, when you do that, when you walk on that way, it'll be a lot better. You'll be a lot more happy, a lot more enjoyable. Now, of course, you have to also enjoy it. And you have to connect with it. And you have to. That's a process. But for sure, the focus is, I am Eved Hashem. What does Hashem need from me? And let me do this. Yeah, the Zuha Hiram Yaakov. This is the lesson that we learn from Yaakov. Yaakov asak b'avodas habirurim. Yaakov, his job was Vayeishev, was refining the world. Halach l'charan, he went to Charan, v'avad, b'tzoy Lavan, and he worked with Lavan's sheep and cattle, v'amal kashus. And it was difficult. Kalemar, v'yoyim, like it says, Kamrum, v'yoyim achalni, cherev, v'karach, v'layla. Our belly had what to eat, and at night, also mishnas and I didn't have a chance to sleep. Yaakov was working hard, very hard. And in addition to all this effort he put in his body, he struggled. It was hard. But and Alter learns out from this, even though we know that Chassidus, one of the things that Alter Mechadish, the Chassidus and the Baal Shem Tov really can't destroy your body. Back in the day, they would have sigufim, and they thought it was holy to destroy your body and roll around in the snow in the winter, and really self-mortification and become a parish. But the Alter Rebbe and Tanya and Chassidus said you can't do this. So even though you can't do this, mishum she'ein aguf v'chushay shel adam, because my body is not mine, it's Hashem's. I have to take care of my body. But for needs, claim a bishul kesef, need for money, so you can have food, whatever money. Or you need it for spiritual things. Vayeishev, which is Vayeishev, then it's mutter. Meaning you could say, the Yaakov, what are you working so hard for? It's not healthy. You're destroying your body. So for birurim, you're allowed to do this. But I think it's also a nice idea, the way we look at ourselves and our body, what the Rebbe is showing us, and what Torah teaches us, that our body is not our own. I can do whatever I want. People will do things. I don't have that control of my body. Yeah, my body is being returned. It's on lease, and I return it. When you lease a car and you return it, you can't. So when you lease a car, you return it, you say, whatever, the car, I don't care, I'll give it back. But when we're being leased out of the body, we have to come. We have to meet Hashem. And Hashem say, what's all these dents? What happened to him? So mitzvah Hashem, we should have this, and we should work this way and realize, hey, my body have to take care of it. And that's what we're saying. Yeah. Even though Yaakov could have said, Lama why do I have to go to Charan? Why do I have to deal with all this? It's true. It's true, Yaakov left. Why did he go? Because Esav was after him. Esav wasn't very happy with him. But why not send the Esav out of Beersheba and go to Charan? And Yaakov stay in Beersheba. The base in the base Medrash. Yaakov, why? You ask yourself, and this is sort of the question of our lives. This is the question we can all ask ourselves. Why is it? And we'll stop here with this question. Why is it that Yaakov has to leave and go to Charan? Yeah, let Yaakov stay in yeshiva. Why do I have to go out and leave seminary and leave school and then go into this world and have to figure out how to get a parnasa, and have to figure out how to get an apartment, have to figure out a shidduchim, have to figure out getting married, and then when you get married, it just keeps on going. More things to worry about and to think about and to do with. Why? Why does Yaakov have this, and why do we have this? What's the point? Make life easier. Yaakov was in a good place. He wasn't wasting his time in yeshiva. He was learning, especially if I was in seminary and I was learning and I was having a good time and I was doing the right things. Why do I have to leave that and suddenly have to deal with life and life struggles and all these things? And tomorrow, mitzvah Hashem, hope we'll be up and we'll answer the question. Thank you very much for joining and have a great day. Good Yom Tov.